You know, I had so many ideas of things that I wanted to talk about, and it just dawned on me that the most important thing I could talk about this evening is really just learning how to be yourself. Um, I grew up in a space where, or multiple spaces, because my mom moved me around a little bit when I was younger, but the spaces that I grew up in, the environments that I was in, um, for the most part, a lot of them made me feel like I could never really be enough for the people around me. Um, when I was really small, I was too talkative around my immediate family. But yet, as I grew older, I wasn't talkative enough around my extended family. When I started school, um, and was being parented and raised by my mom, there were times where I felt like the environments that we lived in, I wasn't black enough or white enough. And then when we came back to Chicago, I definitely was never black enough, right? Um, and even now, in my big old age, right, I recognize that there are places that I am not. Uh, there are places that I'm in, or places that I frequent, that I'll never be enough for somebody, enough of something, no matter what it is, right? I'll never be black enough. I'll never be dark skinned enough. I'll never be smart enough for some of the people that I have to be around, right? And it's the most interesting thing, because what I'm coming to realize is that as long as I'm pretty enough, intelligent enough, creative enough, um, resilient enough, down to earth enough, and homegirlish enough for myself, I'm starting to become okay with that. Um, I'm saying a lot because, like I said in the beginning of this video, like there were a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, a lot of ideas, and I'm one of those people, like, I craft out these ideas to talk about and share, um, in dialogue, in spaces of dialogue that I create, whether it's on this platform that you're watching me on, or on the platform of a panel or what have you, right? I'm one of those people, like, I like to at least have bullet points. Today, not so much, right? And I think that's just me being real and honest again about the space that I'm in, um, mentally right now. It is January 29th. And I've been blessed to say that I've almost made it through the entire month of January for 2023, right? Now, a lot of people would feel like, oh, that's not saying a lot. But for me, I believe that every day that we're put on this earth, we are meant to do something awesome. We're meant to do something great just because God woke us up, right? Just because God opened your eyes. You have 24 hours to do something really beautiful and wonderful with those 24 hours, right? And I say all that to say, I've just been in this mental space where my good enough has just not been good enough for me, right? My good enough has not been, or my good has not been, um, the level that I've wanted it to be, right? And I'm talking about, like, being able to find yourself, being able to understand exactly who you are in the middle of other people's mess, right? In the middle of other people throwing their mess onto you. And one of the things that I'm recognizing is that you have to be very strong in who you are, and less critical as well. Now, I'm saying that as, again, somebody who has made it to January 30th, and are all the check boxes checked on my goal list for the month of January? No. But I can at least say that the things that I have gotten to do, the things that I have gotten accomplished for the month of January, I'm cool with. I'm cool with. I'm ready for February to come. I'm ready for tomorrow to come, January 30th. And, not necessarily another month per se, but I'm ready for another day to recognize and to realize the vision that I have. I have another 24 hours to get it done, right? um, it's amazing to me that we can allow other people's whispers or other people's critiques to lay in the back of our minds for so long that we start to believe that we aren't enough of those things that everybody else wants us to be, right? And when I'm saying, like, I'm really kind of dissatisfied with uh, the things that I've been able to do over the course of this month, it's really because I'm starting to also recognize that I haven't been able to rest enough for myself, right? I haven't been able to be there enough for myself, to take care of self. Um, I wrote this article on my blog a couple years back about someone calling me the goddess of self-care. And if you're watching this, little bro, if you're watching this, shout out to you. He is an artist and he is doing some really dope things. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to say hey to Courtney. Y'all follow him on, I'll have to put his Instagram in the description box or somewhere on this space, right? Right, somewhere on this visual, because his Instagram is actually Lil Bro and then some numbers, right? I'm really bad at not remembering people's Instagram names or people's social media names, so don't charge it to my head. Don't come at me. But I remember, in conversation with him like saying, you are the goddess of self-care. And what I've recognized over the course of this month in January 2023, and really, if I'm being honest with myself, I recognized it, over the course of December, my birthday month last year, 2022. And I'm just at this space where I'm recognizing I'm not doing enough for myself. I'm not doing enough of the things that bring me joy. I'm not doing enough of the things that make my heart smile, right? And part of it is because I had these voices in the back of my head telling me that I had to do other things, that I had to take care of other responsibilities, right? But no, at the end of the day, when you're really trying to be who you are, who God has called you to be, who you're growing into becoming, at the end of the day, you're really supposed to be able to say, I accomplished this for myself. I accomplished this to get me closer to where God wants me to be for who I am. And I just came to say, hey, if you've been feeling like you haven't been doing enough for yourself, if you've been feeling like you haven't been taking care of your temple, if you've been feeling like depleted, drained, child, you ain't the only one. That's number one. Number two, I'm challenging you in the next couple of days, whenever you see this, to really take out some time of your schedule, of your day, of your 24 hours that you've been blessed with and graced with. I'm challenging you to take at least 10 to 15 minutes to write down things that make you happy, to write down things that you either do or things that you either surround yourself with, people you surround yourself with, that bring you a sense of relief. And I'm doing this and like physically feeling like like, and envisioning, right, the people and the things and the structure in my life that brings me a sense of release. So, again, next kind of days that you have are really all on you to make your I started to say make your dreams come true. And yes, in some way that's what I mean. But mostly what I mean is figuring out and naming and writing down at least two or three things. Two or three things that you can say, you know what? This makes me feel good on the inside. When I read this or when I see this again, this list, I want to be able to say I've accomplished doing those things on a day-to-day, if not week-to-week basis. I'll give y'all a couple of examples and then I'll leave y'all, okay? Because I didn't want this to be like a long video. Again, I, in some aspects, kind of feel like I'm rambling, but I know that if anything, if this don't help nobody else, I know I'm going to be able to look back on this video and say, Dag, Tyra, did you do those things for yourself? Did you actually accomplish this goal of wanting to get back to a self-care regimen that is, one, authentic, but two, produces some sense of, again, relief and release and de-stressing in your life? So, three things. Did I just do that? Three things that really make me smile. Fresh flowers. Anytime I go to like a Lowe's, I know Home Depot been kind of, since the pandemic, people been up in arms about being in Home Depot, but I know that there is a black-owned, co-opt Home Depot on the south side of Chicago that I need to start giving more of my business to versus some of the other ones, right? But whenever I go to like a Home Depot or Lowe's or even just past a random flower shop, I get so excited. I love having fresh sunflowers. I love having fresh tulips around. I cannot wait for spring. So for me to be in the middle of winter and it is snowing like back to back now that it's January in Chicago and I can't see very much foliage outside of the bare trees, it has always made me feel like Chicago in the winter is desolate. Like that's the main word I can think about when I describe my city that I love so dearly. But it just makes me feel sad looking around the city and it just being like a snow globe and pretty, and then once that's over and the snow is like dirty and nasty, I'm like, ugh, what is this? Get me out of here, right? So one of the things that I'm vowing to do is to take better care of the plants that I already have and to also come up with a cadence of days or weeks, whatever the schedule is going to be, that I'm going to actually go and just buy myself some flowers. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when I look in the mirror and I see that my eyebrows are done, that gives me joy. I know it's something simple and I know it's more so along the lines of maintenance versus self-care, but my smile is so big when my eyebrows are done exactly how I like them. So I'm going to, again, just make sure, because I think there were like 2 weeks in the month of January where I just had went to the shop, gotten them shaped, but just didn't fill them in, right? And it's something about me looking in the mirror and thinking, wait a minute, who is this? Or something about me looking in the mirror and not feeling completely dressed, if you will, right? And I know y'all probably thinking like, oh, I'm not your real no, boo, these are not the way my eyebrows look when I wake up in the morning. I try to make them as natural as possible for the frame of my face, but guess what? No, I have to wash this off, okay? And I'm sharing that with y'all, and that's something that's very intimate that I really would never say. But again, the voice in the back of my head is saying, the one that I'm choosing to listen to is saying be authentic, right? Be yourself. So will I ever come on camera without my eyebrows done? Probably not. Y'all not gonna get that tired, right? That's a little too woke up in the morning, right? But it makes me, I don't know, it just makes me feel like, ooh, yes, honey, yes, yes. You know that feeling that you get when you just like, you pass by a reflection, whether it is the washing machine window or the I don't know, the glass on a car when you going from your car to your house or from your car into work, and you just like, that's how I feel when my eyebrows are done. So that's gonna be number two, making sure that I fill in my eyebrows. And then number three, I think I'm actually going to take some time to do a Daniel fast. Now, I woke up on Friday, and Thursday, actually, I had a really great experience with a couple of my coworkers, and we went to this event, and I owe y'all a like review, a loose review of the event, or just some thoughts rather about the event. But we went to this event, and it was nice. Really, it was really nice. I hadn't been to that type of event in a long time, and one of the things that I recognize is that there are certain things that, or certain experiences that I have that really make me excited to do the work that I do in the community, right? So this conversation right here, this dialogue right here, this platform, whatever you're watching me on right now, is my personal work, right? But in my community work, I felt like I was coming to a space where I was wrapped up in the whirlwind and not being able to actually plan and do some deep diving of vision work, right? And the same way I am in my personal work, I like to be, or in my personal business, I like to be in my community work, right? I like it to be a space that's organic. I like to be in spaces, and I thrive in spaces where I can be the big visionary, right? Because I'm also that person that knows how to do the small steps to get the work done to make the vision come to life, right? So being that I'm kind of both of those people, right? Or I can juggle both of those buckets or whatever, handle both of those sides of the work. When I'm only working on the small things, or when I'm only working on like the day-to-day grind type of things, and I'm not able to dream and create and provide space for other people to create and other people to connect in my community work, I feel so drained. And going to this event made me also realize that there was this whole maybe 2 months now since my birthday is December 5th, so maybe sometime after my birthday, going into or continuing it throughout the month of January, that I just felt depleted in the work, right? I just felt drained in the work. And I'm recognizing that the event that I went to on Thursday really invigorated me. It really energized me, and it's gotten me to start thinking about some new things, some new goals that I have for my community work. And I really wanted to start a fast just so I could flush out all the spiritual toxins, so I could flush out all of the distractions that come up with the work that I do on a regular basis, and really hone into planning this next 3 to 4 or 5 months of my community work, and planning those events, and planning and starting to not only plan and vision, right, but also starting to connect the dots on some of those day-to-day tasks that would actually help me create the vision and make it become real. So the fast is important to me because I recognize that I haven't done a healthy fast. Or actually, now I think about it, I haven't done a fast in about 2 years. If it's 2023, my last fast had to have been sometime in early 2021. Um, so those are my three things that I'm going to do. And again, the last one is more so because I want to flush out some of the things that I feel like aren't making me happy. So one, again, making sure that I have some type of beautiful presence in my space. That's not just my artwork, right? But that's living, breathing, something organic that I feel like I can take care of outside of my daughter, who makes me smile. But, flowers and taking care of my plants that I have. Some of them need trimming, so I need to do that. The second thing is making sure my eyebrows done, child. Making sure, we don't say on fleek anymore, but making sure they looking the way I want them, right? Looking the way I like them. And then thirdly, and most importantly, is a fast, because I need to really clear the way for the next season of my life, career-wise and professionally and network-wise and spiritually. I think that's it. And again, really hoping that me sharing this in the way that I'm sharing it today, with you and with, again, with whatever platform you're watching this on, I really hope that it helps you see something about yourself that you either want to keep the same and work harder towards, or say, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. It's not giving me the joy that I thought it would. I don't want to do this anymore because I don't feel healthy when I'm doing it. I don't want to do this anymore because fill in the blank, right? As you're going throughout your day, after you've clicked the subscribe button, after you've liked this video, I hope that you have a sense of peace. I pray that, again, even if we don't even know each other, that your day is just filled with joy and filled with a unshakable amount of peace. So many things going on in the world. Things that, to be honest, I'm not even going to talk about because we got enough trauma going on, right? But because we have so much trauma, I just have to say that no matter who you are, no matter where you're sitting, no matter where you live, my prayer for you is that your day after this moment is just filled with peace and filled with joy and filled with spaces and surrounded by people that actually make you feel good about who you are and who God is calling you to be. That's all I got. I hope that's enough for you, as I'm hoping, again, that I'm becoming enough for myself.